Hey guys, Ruby here from Be Fabulous Coaching. Today I would like to share with you about how to go through shit in life. You know, when we were little, we dream about the growing up world. It's gonna be full of rainbows, roses, and unicorns. But by the time you reach 30 years old, you probably realize there's a lot of shit that you have to deal with. Things like bankruptcy, divorce, diseases, and just to name a few. It's especially very unpleasant whenever the shit hits the fan. So if you're currently going through a tough time in life, my coaching for you is the only way to go through shit in life is to go through. Before you think I'm a smartass, I've got two reasons to support my argument. Reason number one, you know there's an organ inside of our body. It's called ileocecal valve. Sorry, I can't pronounce that. What it does is, you can see on this picture, it's the connection between your small intestine and big intestine. So what it does is it acting like a plug. So it stops the reflux of the content going back into your system again. So when you have a bowel movement, the content will just move along and it goes down to the toilet and flash down to the ocean, which means that you don't want that shit to go back up again. It's gonna mess up your system. So the only way to go through shit is to go through, because it's not good to come back. Reason number two, whenever you go through shit in life, you will always be able to give birth to something better. Things like a dream, a vision, or a business idea, a better relationship. Even if you're not interested in any of this, you will always be able to give birth to a better you. It's just like Phoenix. To be able to reborn, it has to go through fire. It's exactly the same process as giving birth to a human baby. I'm going to use that as an example to illustrate my point. And it's totally relevant to guys as well. So whenever I say the word baby, you just replace with your dream, your vision, whatever that comes into your mind. So when you just conceive a baby, you feel you're totally in line with the universe. Yeah, and you feel excited, exhilarated, and purposeful, and that was a great feeling. You think the whole process is gonna be easy and exciting all the time, but as your baby is starting to grow inside of your tummy, you find tired and exhausted carrying the baby around, and the toughest time is when you're about to give birth. The pain of giving birth, I don't even have words to describe it. It feels like there's an enormous force to trying to squash you into a ball, and there's another enormous force is trying to pull you apart into pieces, and every single one of your organ, your tissue and bones is muscle is screaming in excruciating pain. So it feels like a battle between life and death. No wonder you go through so many emotions, negative emotions in this process. You will be feeling so scared, thinking, am I gonna make it? I'm gonna die, or am I gonna survive? And you will be worried about how long is this pain gonna last? Is it gonna be 3 hours or 3 days? And you hear the horrifying story of some women give birth for like 4 days and die on the hospital bed. So that is some real fear that is pretty scary, and you probably want to deny it and you don't want to face it, and it's just you think if you ignore the pain, it's probably going to go away. And a lot of you will feel regret. Why did I even conceive the baby in the first place? If I had a time travel machine, I would go back and stop myself from the conception process. And you will probably want to blame your husband, your parents, and the society, everybody who you feel like you're a victim of them, because they are the one who wanted you to have a baby, and you forgot that you also wanted a baby as well. And you feel so sorry for yourself. You're asking God, why me? Why do I have to do it? Like, there's lots of people in the world, and there's a half of the population, which is men. They don't have to deliver a baby. So you just feel like you're such a victim. You feel so sorry for yourself, and it's totally normal to go through those negative emotions. My coaching is you just need to face your fear, because you are experiencing more pain in the imagination than the actual reality. So the quicker you face your fear, it actually will lose power on you. So all you need to do is to look down, and there is a size of watermelon stuck in between your legs. Doesn't matter how much you want to ignore it, doesn't matter how much you want to deny it, it's still gonna be there. And if you delay of facing your fear, the pain is gonna be even more excruciating, and it's gonna be even slower. And I know it's kind of normal that you regret, you live in regret. You just wish that you could go back and fix what happened 9 months ago so you don't have to go through this pain. But unfortunately, my friend, there is no time travel machine. This is your new reality now. It's very hard to accept that, but you can't divorce, you can't get fired, you can't get bankrupt. And the quicker you accept the new reality, the easier it is that you will be able to move on. I know it's very difficult. I'm not saying this lightly. I have to deal with all these negative emotions on a regular basis. And then you will need to stop blaming others, because when you blame others, you leave the control to them, and you will feel you're a victim of life. And the only way to regain your control is to own up to it and say, yes, I messed up. I've done this wrong. I've done that wrong. This is not to blame yourself. This is purely to take control, take responsibilities, so that you are able to make some changes in life. As long as you think it's somebody else's fault, there is nothing you can do about it. And you will continue to feel like you are a victim. And and there's really no point to feel sorry for yourself as well, because God has given you a uterus, a great gift. Maybe He thinks you are stronger. That's why He let you carry this great responsibility. That's why He thinks you are the perfect candidate to deliver the baby. Greater power comes with greater responsibilities, just like what the Spider-Man said. So for my own experience, when I was giving birth to my baby girl Jasmine 3 years ago, I had a little medical emergency, and I felt exhausted. I was just giving up. I was lying on the bed flat. I refused to push, even though the doctors or nurses, they were screaming at me in panic, and they asked me to push, but I was like, I'm done with life. It's just too much shit, and it's too painful. I can't deal with it anymore. But when I was I felt like I was floating towards the ceiling. And when I was floating, well, you can call this like out-of-body experience or hallucination. It's up to you how you decide. So when I was floating, I can hear there's a heartbeat sound, and that was my baby's heartbeat on the monitor. At first it was kind of normal, and all of a sudden it just become really fast and really strong and loud, as if she was calling me out in distress, as if she was saying, Mom, get up, I need you to get up and start pushing, I'm suffocating, please help me. And I was like, oh my gosh, that's my baby, she deserves a chance to come to see the world, and it's my responsibility to push her out, and I am her only hope. So I don't know how I did it. I just gathered all my strength and started pushing again. And very soon she came out. That day happened to be an Easter Sunday. So whenever I look at her beautiful face, I always get reminded that it's never too late to restart again. Doesn't matter how messed up you think you are, and doesn't matter how messed up you think your life is. You always have a second chance. Yes, it's right, you can't undo the past. You can't undivorce, you can't bankrupt, but you can always recreate. You can always reconcile, make amends, and you can always repiece everything together again. You can always restore and resurrect. If you are currently going through a tough time, my coaching is, get up, my friend, please. Get up. You have a baby to deliver. She deserves to come into this world. And this world deserves to have her. So gather all your strength, start pushing. Remember, you are super strong.